Assalamu alaikum, Muslimah Media, and welcome once again to creating positive cultural change. Today, I want to talk about the tool that we need to create positive cultural change, and that tool is your voice. We need your voice as we needed Salama's voice when she told us the story of Ja'far ibn Abi Talib as he spoke to the Najus in Abyssinia. We need your voice as we needed Asma bint Umays's voice as she spoke to Umar ibn al-Khattab after coming back from Abyssinia by boat. And she was visiting with Hafsa bint Umar. And he entered the room, and for some reason he felt that he needed to say to her, Ya Asma, your hijrah, we have more of a right to the Prophet ﷺ than you. Asma bint Umays was offended. What is this? I have spent all of these years. I became Muslim in the early days. I spent all these years in Abyssinia, there at the order of the Prophet ﷺ, waiting patiently to be told to come to Medina, waiting and working amongst the non-Muslims, spreading Islam in a country I didn't know, with a language I didn't know, with food I didn't know, with people I didn't know. All of these feelings stirring inside of her. And she said, La wallah, no way, ya Umar. I will not rest until I go to the Prophet himself and tell him what you said to us. Voice. She didn't allow even Umar ibn al-Khattab to say something to her that she felt was unfair. She went to the Prophet ﷺ and she told him what he said. And the Prophet ﷺ said, no, ya Asma, they are the people of one hijrah and you are the people of two. So they became the people of two hijrahs. The hijrah to Abyssinia and the hijrah to Medina, the hijrah by boat. And from that point on, all of the people that were with her would love to hear her tell that story because she brought them peace of heart. After all those years away, she brought them status because of her voice. Her voice rang strong and true, not only by refusing what Umar radiallahu anhu said to her, but also because she went to the Prophet ﷺ to inquire. We, in order to create positive cultural change, we must speak. We must speak with respect. We must speak with kindness. We must speak with strength. But we must speak. And we must inquire. And we must say yes, and we must say no. And we must give information, and we must share that which we know and that which we are doing. It is in the example of the women around the Prophet ﷺ that voice was and remains part and parcel of what it means to be a Muslim woman. It is a unique quality of the Muslim woman that we have always felt strong to speak. We have more than one of the companions, the female companions of the Prophet, who went to the Prophet ﷺ and asked about Quran. And Quran was revealed in response to their request, to their question. We have Nusayba bint Ka'b, who went to her Aqaba and promised the Prophet ﷺ, pledged him with the men. 2 women who pledged with 70 men, pledged their allegiance and their defense of him. And as a result, her voice that promised was true. You see her in battle after battle, out just in case. And in Uhud, when the Prophet ﷺ was being attacked and she stood in front of him with her dagger and fought and kept the enemy away, it wasn't only her voice but her agency, which was a result of her voice that gave her strength. And the Prophet ﷺ praised her and said, I looked to my right, I looked to my left, and I saw Nusayba bint Ka'b. And this was a beautiful thing and a blessed thing. And the agency and voice of women at the time of the Prophet ﷺ was something that the Prophet ﷺ praised and supported. And for us in 2015 not to recognize that is shame on us and on no one else. It is upon us to raise our voices in the way of the Prophet and in the way of his companions. Raise our voices in respect and in kindness and not in ugliness and not in bitterness. Bitter voices accomplish nothing. Bitter words only hurt. We need words of truth and words of sincerity and words of love. And those are words that imitate the Prophet ﷺ and imitate his companions. And with those words and the agency that results from them, we will indeed create positive cultural change. And it is upon us to do so. It is upon us to create positive cultural change within our communities, within our families, within the world, for our whole ummah. The entire non-Muslim and Muslim world is waiting for us. People are suffering and they're in pain, and people are sad and they're crying at night, and they are missing out on the greatest relationship that was ever allowed to the human being, the relationship between us and our Creator. And it is up to us, with our understandings and our past and our Quran and our relationship, to share that with the rest of the world. And we won't be able to share that. They won't be able to see that in us until we are standing up straight and tall with the example of the Prophet ﷺ, with the example of women like Nusayba bint Ka'b, Asma bint Asma bint Abi Bakr, Waraqa, Al-Shifa, Rufayda, all of the women at the time, Al-Khansa, the poet, one after another. We must stand with our talents and our voice and agency and stand in front of the world and bring them the way of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, bring them Islam, and bring them the greatest lover ever, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that their hearts may finally be whole again. That's on us. That's on us. Be of those who create positive cultural change. Speak and do. Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad.